Hello, and welcome back to
the Zak
and Buzz Review.
Dun, 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 dun.
Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power,
The
Season
finale.
2, Episode 8, Shadow and Flame.
Go back to the shadow.
So this
Why Shadow and Flame? Because at last we see the bell roll.
Well, maybe we should very much talk about that opening sequence. I thought that was really,
to be honest,
really
I
good.
didn't really. I was so engaged with that sequence
Yeah.
that when that sequence finished, and then the title started coming up, I was like, "Oh my god, it
Oh,
hasn't
yeah.
actually started yet."
I completely forgot that we
I
haven't
mean,
had the intro sequence
It was
yet.
crazy. I mean, what an entrance!
So we
to an
had
episode.
Durin obviously, like, ramming the walls
to
of the
break
mines
through to
into this new kind of place in the mines,
caverns
digging ever so deep.
full of mithril. You know,
And obviously his son is like pleading with him
take
to
the ring
stop
off, father.
because obviously there is something that's gonna come out and cause some mayhem, which it does. And obviously final kadunk.
He can't
They
use
go
it.
in.
Yeah, he says, "Come, Durin, look."
Yes.
And there's the splendour of all that mithril. Until...
So there's a confrontation with the Balrog.
I am so pleased they have kept the Balrog the same as the Peter
I
Jackson
mean,
Balrog.
it's near as damn it, yeah.
You know, it is... I mean, it just fits
It
in
looks
perfectly.
such a formidable force.
And
I
it
really hope we see
does
more.
the old ankle whip.
Yep, the classic
Starts
ankle
dragging
whip.
him.
And it also forms a
Big
look like
sword.
it looked almost like an axe, I
Well,
think,
there was
in
more
this
kind of
in
a
this
flaming
one.
sword or a scimitar, maybe even a falchion. Maybe.
I mean, either way, it's a big flamey something
Flaming
that is waving
and I
around.
tell you, and I think that was the thing because it starts attacking the wall, doesn't it? And then it falls down into the pit,
Yeah.
and then they have that moment, and he takes the ring off at last.
He takes the ring off at last.
And then it upraises the Balrog again.
Yeah.
And then I tell you, that was probably my favourite scene from this particular episode was when King Durin launches himself out, and you get that clash of the axe and the sword of fire.
You could recreate it.
Oh, there we go. You need the sword. You haven't got one.
Use my head.
You put it- There you go. Although that's not an axe, that's a hammer.
And then it almost like a, I don't know, sound boom kind of happened.
Yes, I just love that.
Cut to intro.
Cut to intro. And it's like, oh my god, it's just started, and we haven't. And it's like, oh, brilliant hairs on the back of your neck are up.
Excellent,
And everything. So there we are, and then we're back to Region again.
Region.
And
Yes.
the siege is pretty much over and done with.
Pretty much. I know that obviously in the lead up to this they said that the Siege of Eregion was going to happen over 2 episodes. I mean, it kind of does.
Kind of does.
But it's very much, we know who's lost here.
Yeah, the elves obviously have been routed. The orcs, or they call them uruks as well. Uruks
yes.
are in there, and they have got a Sauron. Oh, because you've got that scene, don't you? It starts off with a scene with Sauron and Celebrimbor, and it's like this is going Game of Thrones and taking it up a notch, isn't it? It's like, I'm going to stand 4 feet away from you
And just pepper you with arrows until you give me what I want.
I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to let him go.
It's just the fact that this Celebrimbor guy has been just such a nice fellow, and he has been completely and utterly manipulated by Sauron
put through the mangle.
entire time, and he just had no luck whatsoever these last few episodes.
Poor bloke. Poor bloke.
Obviously resulting in his death in
demise.
this one. He manages to get a slight niggle in at Sauron.
He does, and that's the thing. I noticed on social media a lot of people posing the question, why does Sauron cry because at that scene? And it's pretty obvious, because the truth hurts. Because he basically says, it doesn't matter what you do, you are not going to ever be able to transcend on. You know, you are stuck.
Well, I think it was at the moment where
He just literally gave him the verbal bird, didn't he?
he blooming stabs him. Basically says,
One arm.
you'll never control the rings, you'll just be a prisoner to them, and said that he was the Lord of the Rings, which was quite cool.
I think, I wondered at that point whether that put the seed in his mind.
That's what I was thinking.
I love the way he just they went ka-chunk and just
Yeah, you stay there.
you stay there.
there.
I'm thinking, yeah, I wonder if this is the point that Celebrimbor has given him the seed if he's going to be the Lord of the Rings, from that moment on, he thinks, I need to forge,
Well, I think
forge one.
pure speculation. It's from season 3. We might start seeing the formation of his plans to create the One Ring. I reckon, because at the end you see he has the hammer.
Yeah.
At the end of this particular episode, but
there's
that's
so much
skipping ahead a bit too much.
So the elves are there. Obviously, you've got the king. You've got
Gil-galad, Elrond. They've been captured. Arondir.
Yeah,
surprising.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay, so he's surprisingly sprightly, considering in the last episode he got stabbed a lot. By Adar.
Yes, yeah, and but yeah, I was going to say he suddenly pops back up again, looking very sprightly. But I'm glad he's still in it. There you go.
And they're like, "Oh no, don't burn those things. They're Celebrimbor's legacy. They're going to live beyond us. Don't do that. Kill us instead."
Bit of the Third Reich going on there.
Yeah, sorry.
With the book burning.
Yeah.
Let's go. No, we're burning the lot.
And obviously, Galadriel and the elves
escape through the tunnel.
Have thought to have escaped through the tunnel, but then get jumped
Captured
upon
by the
Uruks again.
Meanwhile, Glug, or Gluck, whatever his name is,
Glug, yeah,
has gone and met Sauron and said, hello, you Sauron.
That is exactly what he sounded like.
I said, hello, you Sauron.
But we don't really get much of that interaction, and we find out what happens later on.
Yes.
So, obviously, Galadriel has the 9 rings, but not her own ring, because Adar has her ring, because he got it off of Elrond in the last episode.
Exactly.
And it's made him young again and youthful and taken away the scars.
That's the thing.
Of time.
It's taking you back to who he would originally have been.
Yeah.
And again, on social media, people say, "Oh, why is he praying or crying or doing whatever he is at that rock?" I think the thing was he was just disguising his face from Galadriel, but also from the rest of his children, because I think they would have been quite shocked to see his visage,
transformation, yeah.
You know, and yeah, but actually, that's the thing. Poor old Adar, he just has been just sort of, you know, led by the nose all the way through this. He's done exactly what is required to do.
Yeah.
He's blind with his revenge, and he's like, I must get Sauron.
Yeah.
And
much to his own detriment.
Much to his own detriment, because that's when Glug turns up.
Yeah.
And you think,
oh no, Glug had a go at Glug.
And he's, oh, my children. The next minute, Glug. Yeah, and then it's a repeat of what they did to Sauron
at the beginning of the season.
And
I found that really quite, I don't want to say traumatic, but like, sad that we're not really going to see Adar again. We're not going to be able to do this.
Oh.
Adar.
No more Adars. So that's him now at the prison.
He's gone.
He's gone. But then we have Galadriel there, picks her sword up and thinks, right, I'm going to whip out of here, only to turn round.
By the way.
Hello,
I'm Sauron. Give me my rings.
And I've also got the
Morgoth's
crown
now.
The pace is quickened.
You know, so now this is where I really enjoyed the next sequence, because being a fight choreographer myself, I like putting fight sequences together, and this sequence, I wouldn't rate it as the best fight sequence going, but I did like the way that the choreographers used the crown in it as well.
Yeah, that was kind of the most unique part about this, was the fact that he was using the crown as a weapon.
Kind of as an offside weapon, using his sword and the crown, and doing some nice
But I also liked kind of the pauses in the action for Sauron to be Sauron, because he was very much changing forms. Yeah, he was changing into Halbrand and into Galadriel.
And Celebrimbor.
Yeah. All throughout this, trying to kind of manipulate her.
Really screw with her mind, you know. And then even turn into herself.
Yeah,
you know.
That was really cool.
But I love the kick that she planted on him, though. She got so pissed off, she really did kick him into that into that rock.
But you got so kind of emotionally kind of drawn into this situation that you really felt it when she finally got stabbed by Morgoth's crown.
Yeah, that was vicious. That was good. And then I knew she was going to go backwards off that cliff.
You kind of predicted that, yeah.
Yeah, she's going off the cliff. But then, if you watch the actor whose name escapes me at the moment, who plays Sauron, that's the thing. His face, he can like in a moment, he can switch from looking actually quite puzzled to very sad to then really happy and very deadly.
Yeah.
And it was just the smallest facial movements. It's superb. What he's done with this character is brilliant. And of course,
the way the character has been written and presented is fantastic.
Yeah, unfortunately, Glug turns up, and that's the end of Glug.
Not if I stick you first.
Basically, what are we going to do now?
If I ever needed like a meme or like a face palm any moment, this would be it in Lord of the Rings.
So, you know,
yay, Sauron's back! Oh crap, I'm dead.
You know, yeah, but
he's got the 9 rings.
What do we hear? The dwarves turn up.
I think it's a bit late, but they turn up.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I love that because it's like I think they must have got loads of little children in to do that scene.
It's because of the very kind of
wearing closed helmets and everything, and then you only actually see the one dwarf's face, you know, with his visor up. But it's brilliant. They all come chomping in there, you know, and rout the orcs, and save the day.
Yeah, and that's very much we see at the end of this episode. It's very much Elrond and the surviving elves wandering off.
Gone to a protected place,
protected valley.
Yes, which well, they didn't mention the name.
They didn't mention the name, but it's
got to be Rivendell.
It's
got to be Rivendell. It's a protected valley, so there you go. So they're in Rivendell. So
meanwhile, in the background, Eregion has very much fallen. It is gone.
But then, let's take a quick trip across the sea. That's it. Fast travel. And we're over in...
Numenor!
Numenor, that's it, thank you. Numenor. And the Queen ain't getting a break.
No.
No, this time all the faithful are rounded up.
Yeah, they're treasonous now.
They're all treasonous.
All because King Pharazôn's like, I don't like you guys.
That's it. I've touched the old...
You've managed to... manipulate the sea serpent thing. It was a false trial for the Queen. Blah 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 blah.
I think he's getting a bit of the.
He's getting very power hungry.
A bit of the vibe off of the Super.
Super Bowl.
The Super Bowling Ball. That's it.
A Palantir is a dangerous tool, Saruman.
I think
the Palantir.
Yeah, I think that's starting because obviously we have that with Denethor. You see, it starts to affect him, and I think that's the thing. It's playing on his bad side. Then Isildur's father has to make a dash for it.
Yep.
Wants to take the Queen. Queen says no, but the Queen gives him
Narsil.
Narsil. We actually see Narsil, and again they've kept the same sword.
Yeah. It's nay indistinguishable.
Yeah, it looks the same.
Yeah.
It's like absolutely
Yay! Funky sword.
So at least we know that his dad is going to get that sword to Isildur at some point.
Yeah, at some point. Well, they've got to obviously deal with Sauron. That's when Isildur gets the sword. It's obviously crushing.
And we have the battle that's at the beginning of
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
That's kind of where season 5, I would imagine, would end.
This is heading to, yes.
But if we talking about Isildur, we do get to see Isildur, and I can't remember what is his name, Bran or whatever it is, over in Pelagia.
Yes,
I think that's where it is.
They're basically on that coast.
Where the annoying son of King Pharazôn turns up and is like, remember that colony kind of deal we had?
Yeah.
By the way, we're going to have a fortress here now.
Yeah, we're sticking out some towers, and you guys have got to get us...
You just got to deal with it.
You've got to get loads of wood, build it for us, as you're not getting any supplies. Yeah. And by the way, Isildur, your dad's a traitor.
Yeah, we're taking you back now.
You're stuffed.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting because I assume that perhaps he's going to, as soon as he gets back, he's going to be put into incarceration perhaps, and then has to be saved.
Yeah, that little play with the other guy's wife. Isildur wanted her to go with him, but then you had that moment where the husband is trying to sort of hold her hand, and she's kind of like, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
So there's definitely something going to be going on
for further seasons.
Yes.
But there's something we have not mentioned yet.
Aha.
And what is that?
I don't know. This probably could be something very strange.
Gandalf the Fool.
Correct. So it turns out that Gandalf, or should I say the stranger?
The stranger, and everybody, literally from the beginning of this series, or since the beginning of the first series, have been going on about who is the stranger. Oh, he's going to be one of the wizards. He's going to be this. He's going to be Sauron. He's going to be that. And then, we've got to find a Gand, haven't we? And
obvious.
We're going to call you Grandelf. Grandelf.
So he obviously chooses to go and save Nori and Poppy.
Which was the test.
Actually. Friendship over power.
That's it. And he meets up head to head with the Dark Wizard.
Who at the moment is nameless. We just know him as the Dark Wizard. Kieran Hines.
That's it.
Great guy. And then the kind of masked people turn up and say,
God, we want what you promised us.
We want what you promised us.
And he's like, sod off.
Pretty much.
He gives him a good old force.
He's trying to play chummy.
He's trying to be nice to the stranger, saying, I know you, my old friend. Come with me, I'll tell you your name. I'll do this, I'll do that.
Even get your staff.
I shall save your friends here, you know. But you can almost say he's grinding his teeth as he's saying it.
Yeah.
And finding it very difficult to be nice.
At which point, it's basically revealed that if they were to team up, the goal would be that they would take on Sauron and succeed him, which obviously they don't want to do.
Yes, and so the stranger, a.k.a. Gandalf, says, I don't want that. I don't want that.
So, obviously, Dark Wizard causes some force rocks to fall onto the stairs. At which point, Gandalf manages to
save them.
Save most of them anyway.
Yeah.
And they have to obviously depart because they've lost their homes.
Yes.
And they start their first migration.
They do. Which means that the Grand Elf, because we see Nori with that staff, just cleaning some bits off it and drops it on the floor. Yep. And we went, yeah, that's it.
That's going to be it. That's going to be it.
And he walks and he kicks it. Yep. And he bends over and it's like, there. I found me Gand, I found my staff. And then off he goes to find Tom Bombadil.
On his destiny. Yes. Obviously Nuri's gone off with the stores. Wherever they're going, I don't know. Are we going to see them again? I don't know.
I don't know, because they seem to have said goodbye, Grand Elf.
Almost kind of begrudgingly.
So I don't know. I'm surely they've got to come back in it somewhere along the line.
He goes off to Tom Bombadil.
So that's where we end up. We end up with Tom Bombadil saying, "Yes, that was the test, and you've completed the test, and you've now found your staff." And then they have a nice little Tom Bombadil sing-song.
Well, after he's revealed his name.
Yes.
Gandalf!
My name. They should call me... Gandalf. And there you go. So that was resolved, finally. So this episode was another brilliant episode, in my opinion. It had so much happening in it, and it had to have so much happening in it.
It was full to the brim of stuff happening. I cannot, ignore that.
It's an episode that you really got to probably watch again and again.
Very commendable, yeah.
But it had to fill in all the gaps to end the series. So I think that last week's episode, which we gave a 10 on, this one, for me, if I'm going to score this one, I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Yeah, it's kind of almost like the aftermath of the big battle.
I mean, it was stupendous.
Yeah, great. Fantastic.
This whole series, after the debacle of the first series and how much negativity it had, and their second series now has really sort of like
upped its game.
Shoved the naysayers out of the way.
Upped its game.
Everybody's loving it, and it's literally going bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And and it's just finished off on this crescendo of excellence. Absolutely loved it. What can you say?
9.5.
I'm giving it an 9. I can't quite go to the 10 because last week's was a real kick-ass one.
I think that's very much the comparison here. Is it as good as last week's? Yes, but in a different way. I would say my preferred one was obviously last week's for the action. But I enjoyed seeing where that went. So, you know what? I'm going to go 9.5 as well. We're very much on the same page here. And I, again, very much look forward to see where it goes in the next season.
Well, yes, because we have got to find out that Durin, don't forget, last bit on on the dwarves.
Dwarves.
It's Durin.
Every time you mention dwarves now, you have to bring the hammer.
Bring the hammer out. Well, I am a dwarf.
That makes sense.
I have been in Moria.
Literally.
Literally, I have been in Moria.
In 3 episodes.
In 3 episodes. So that was the thing. So that was left on a cliffhanger that he is not the favoured successor, and his brother was mentioned. So
all the other dwarf lords.
The dwarf lords, and he looks, and the rings are sitting there on a pedestal. So lots to play for. I mean, 5 series. What we got. We've had 2, 3 to go.
Almost halfway.
There's a lot to be filmed yet.
Yeah,
trust me, there's a lot to be filmed, and they've done an absolutely fantastic job on the production side of this. Absolutely loved it, and all to play for.
Yeah,
all to play for. This has really knocked it out of the park. Love this series. Well done, well done. Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Deeper than the bones of the earth!
So after all that reviewing going on,
yes.
remembering who's doing what and who's doing where,
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little bit parched. So if you want to keep supporting us, we love your support. Please buy us a coffee.
Buy us a coffee using
cup.
the link in the description below.
It's empty again.
Please buy us a coffee. It means a lot. Thank you
We
very
love
much
you
if do.
guys and girls. You are absolutely superb. Lord of the Rings fans as we are and as you are. Please stick with the channel. We absolutely love you. There you go.
If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe to this channel and comment below any suggestions of further reviews you'd like to see.
Can't wait for series 3.
Woohoo!
Hey, dwarves!